Hi there, so welcome to your feedback for week 4, assignment 3. So Amanda, this is really great. I think that there's a strong understanding of what the goals are here with this assignment. What I would recommend is, right now we're kind of conforming to a grid. So these very strong horizontal and vertical lines are beginning to create this grid-like format. I think to give a stronger sense of fantasy, I would like that grid to be broken up a bit, maybe more of these burst shapes on top, so there's a sense of informality that's laying over formality, if you think about those two types of compositions that we talked about, so that there's sort of the breaking down of this grid-like structure that you have in the background. So thinking about, I guess symbolically we could talk about the idea of going from being awake to being asleep, that kind of transition from reality into like a dreamlike state. The reality could be represented by the grid-like structure, and a dreamlike state or fantasy could be represented by the breaking down of that grid-like structure. Let's see, Alicia, so we have delicate here. The background, the brown in the background to me is working against this sense of delicacy. I would go with a lighter value in the background, just use that brown in very small shapes. And I'd also like for you to really just kind of ram it up a bit. I could see lots and lots of these flower shapes overlapping each other, maybe thinking of like an asymmetric kind of field down in the bottom of the design. With these kind of floating stems, I feel like the stems should be rooted all the way to the bottom of the composition rather than kind of floating in the air. Or maybe just thinking about the flowers in the bottom part of the composition overlapping each other to get sort of a field of flowers. So just to kind of take the foundation and run with it, thinking about a field of flowers and changing the background color so it's not a brown, using that brown just as an accent. I would use a light blue or maybe this kind of light cream color that you have in the background. Let's see, so it's definitely playful. Definitely a sense of play is going on. I would recommend just keep going even more. What these strong sort of burst shapes are doing, they're actually guiding my attention down into that corner. I want a couple of these bubbles like down here and then just kind of bursting out of that design, of that area of the design, so that we're not seeing this as a focal point in the bottom left of the composition. And just kind of thinking about how to give more of a unique quality to each one of these ball shapes. Right now, because all of the highlights are exactly the same, they're looking a little cut and paste. If you can make the highlights a little bit more unique for each shape, I think that will give more individuality to your focal point. Danielle, so urban, really great job. That sense of, oh, how did I do that? Okay. The sense of the brick in the background is definitely giving that sense of an urban quality, and I love the flowers on top of it. Right now, the focal point for me are becoming these really dark petals. I would recommend maybe using a lighter color in those petals if you can, if you have it in your palette, or making the petals a little bit smaller just so that they're not these kind of big dark shapes throughout the composition. And then thinking about, so we have 3 running along the side, I would rather see it go even stronger to a sense of informality or a sense of formality. Right now it kind of feels like it's either supposed to be symmetric or not quite symmetric, so really deciding if you want to go with asymmetry and then push that, or deciding if you want to go with what did I just say? If you want symmetry, really enhance the symmetry. If you want asymmetry, really enhance the asymmetry. Right now it's kind of riding the fence between the two.